Hello, today we are going to be talking about Boyle's law. Now, Boyle's law is the relationship between pressure and volume. So say that we have two containers. One of them has a volume of 10 liters, and one of them has a volume of 5 liters. In our 10-liter container and in our 5-liter container, we both have 6 gas molecules. Obviously, that's not very many molecules, but for the sake of argument, we're just going to say we only have 6. So remember that pressure is basically a measure of the impacts of our gas molecules against the sides of their container. So if we have these two containers, in the 10-liter container, these gas molecules are going to bounce around a lot, but they're still not going to hit the sides of the container nearly as often as in the 5-liter container, because the 5-liter container is smaller, so therefore they're going to run into the walls more frequently. Okay? So what we have for Boyle's law is we basically say that when our pressure goes up, our volume goes down, or you could also say it when volume goes up, our pressure goes down. So essentially all we're saying is that they're inversely proportional. When one goes up, the other goes down. So what we wind up having in our equation is P1 times V1 equals P2 times V2. Okay, so this is Boyle's law as we write it out. P1 times V1 equals P2 times V2. That's very important to remember. Now, the way that we solve for it is that we can basically substitute in our values for any point that we know and then solve for what we don't know. So in this example, we know we have 10 liters and 5 liters. Now in the 5 liters, let's say that we have a pressure of 1.5 atmospheres. Okay, ATM is how we abbreviate atmospheres. So with our P1, V1, what we would do is, do we know our pressure for our 10-liter container? No, but we do know our pressure for our 5-liter container. So what we'll say is that this is our P1. Okay, it's what we're starting with. Or I'm sorry, this is our P2. Okay, it's what we end with. This is what we're starting with. So this is our P2. This is our V2. And this would be our V1. Because V is for volume and P is for pressure, right? 1 is for starting, 2 is for ending. So to solve this, what we would do is we would take P1, which we don't know yet, so we'd leave it as P1, times V1, which we know what V1 is. So instead of putting the variable, what we're going to put is we're going to put 10 liters is equal to, and now we know that this one is 5 liters times 1.5 ATM. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply them out. So what's this? We still wind up with P1 times 10 is equal to, what's 5 times 1.5? So that should be 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, so that's 7. And then we move our decimal point in 1, 7.5. So now what we need to do is we need to get the P1 by itself. To do that, whatever you are doing over here, you need to do the opposite of over here. So we've got P1 times 10 over here, so we would divide by 10 over here. Okay, because you want to know what times 10 is equal to 7.5. So what you would get would be P1 equals 7.5 over 10. So P1 is equal to 0.75 ATM. Okay, pretty straightforward. So how you use Boyle's law, let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully I'll update Charles' law here shortly.